To be honest, I've been holding this off. But the first Punic War, Oversimplified Part 2, amazing as always. Um, this gonna be like a year till he drops again, but you know. Where did we leave off? I don't remember.
After the gigantic battle.
Well, thank you.
At Cape Ecnomus, the Romans were now free to land on African soil. And so, they did. The Carthaginians chose to focus on defending the city of Carthage itself. So
Smart. Just become Russia. Scorched earth.
The Romans
I guess it is a desert. It's already scorched earth.
immediately took the city of Aspis, and were then free to raid and plunder the countryside.
That's not very cash money.
They took over 20,000 slaves, and a ton of booty.
Ooh, that's some fine booty.
But then, some orders arrived from the Senate.
While they're just staring at it.
The booty. Oh, but I want to stay.
No, hey.
No, Steve, not.
Hey. Yo. Oh, look at that booty though. What? Okay.
You, they mean the treasure. Well, we are not watching any more of this filth. So the other consul left with the booty.
Wow.
Leaving Regulus and his forces on their own. And they began advancing towards...
Wait, did he leave with, like... his
Carthage.
His part of the army?
Along the way, according to the ancient writer...
Why? Stop.
Livy. They
My
and
God.
Advancing towards Carthage. Along the way, according to the their own.
Whoops.
And they...
Okay,
so the
here
other
we go.
consul left with the booty.
So, did he just take a few ships? You know, he used to guard pirates, whatever. But like, did they split forces?
Leaving Regulus and his forces on their own, and they began advancing towards Carthage. Along the way, according to the ancient writer Livy, they encountered
the dragon
towards Carthage. Along the way, according to the ancient
he might be the dragon. No
writer
lie.
Livy, they encountered a literal dragon.
That's the like Chinese
dragon. Now Livy was a Roman historian, so his account may be slightly.
So, Chinese dragons are like noodles, and then European are fat.
Slightly exaggerated, but this, I believe, as the
Oh, wait, what? No, oversimplified. No, it happened. No way. Dragons, bro? Wow. Apparently, I mean,
account
apparently it's real.
Exaggerated, but this, I believe.
I wonder if I'm going to see more of that.
As the Romans continued to plunder, the Carthaginian people flooded into the city. Now.
What is it? Where's the... Oathbringer. Oh, crap. I forgot what the, series is called. It's, Brandon Sanderson, but... I don't know. The Stormlight Archive. There I go. Currently, that's what's happening in Kalinor. Something like that, you know? Just a little thing. And love Rustage for that Mistborn song. Off topic, but you know.
Not only was it in a major panic, but it was so crowded, the people began to starve.
Yeah.
Don't panic, everyone! Look,
okay.
I know you're all starving, but I still have food.
Okay. Oh.
For me. So, you know.
Ooh.
It's not all bad.
Give us food.
Whoa! You're wasting your tomatoes!
They had food, bro. What?
And you idiots wonder why
That's what I'm saying.
Oh well, it's just more food for me.
No.
Things weren't looking
Eat the tomato whole.
good for Carthage. They had to do something to stop the Romans rampaging throughout.
The booty. Oh my god, they got more booty? Oh, he's enough to come back. Take it. What do these trees do? Why are there palm trees in the middle of nowhere?
Their land. So they decided, finally, it was time to put an end to it. They headed out
Do palm trees just go in the middle of nowhere?
and set
Weird.
up on rough, hilly terrain, overlooking.
Oh yeah, they're about to win. The Romans, that is. If Rome to the war 2, every Rome. Is it called? Is it 2? Like called 2? I don't think it is. But the second one, um, if you're defending, you win.
Looking
At
the
least in
Roman camp,
forts.
and they prepared
And against AI.
for battle. Now, while the Carthaginians were the traditional masters of the sea, on land, they weren't always the brightest.
Jesus, he's Flash. My God. But it's a club. You see that? You go.
Case in point, traditional masters of the sea,
Did he just
on
stab
land,
himself?
they weren't always the brightest. Case in point, setting up in this position,
Okay.
overlooking the Roman camp, was just
Carthage was mostly mercenaries, right? So where are these from? I don't know. These parts of Carthage, something. What?
about the
Oh.
stupidest thing they could have done.
What?
Overlooking the Roman camp was just about the stupidest thing they could have done.
Why?
Why?
Stop it.
There's something you gotta understand about Carthage.
Okay.
The Carthaginian land forces actually suffered from a multitude of different issues.
Mercenaries. That's about all you need to know.
First of all, since the Carthaginians were rich, they could afford to pay a huge number of foreign mercenaries to fight for them.
Oh, Numidian. I know them. Oh, the Gallic. Okay. Numidian cavalry. Oh yeah.
These mercenaries actually made up the vast majority of Carthage's forces, and therefore, Carthage's land armies were a melting pot
Were
of many
everything.
different cultures. This, however, meant that if a battle wasn't going their way, there
They just
could be
leave.
loyalty issues. Man.
Rest in peace. Is that that looks like Iberian.
And I ain't getting paid enough for this. You Balearic slingers better not be thinking of running away. What did he say? I don't know, man. I
Bro,
don't speak
your
Phoenician.
slingers.
Let's get out of here.
No.
Clearly, there were also language issues. The military.
Oh yeah.
We know you're
Good
hovering
chat.
over that button, but we need your help. We have
I am hovering over that button.
a better button, we promise. Right on time.
I
Not bright enough?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but
Military generals tended to be Carthaginian, but they made a lot of strange decisions. For example, one of the most feared assets of the Carthaginian army were the war elephants. One of
I've heard like different things on elephants, like you know, scary all that, but like expensive, kind of like just what's the word? Random. That's the word I can think of right now.
generals tended to be
Easily
Carthaginian,
spooked.
but they made a lot of strange decisions. For example, one of the most feared assets of the Carthaginian army
Nice.
were the war elephants. To a Roman soldier who had never even seen an
Yeah.
elephant before, this was like fist fighting, a literal monster.
It'd be like I don't know. So just imagine walking up. You're a little soldier. And just get recruited, training. Oh yeah. Walk up and there's just a big monster with ears, the spikes, another spike, ugh, and people on top.
monster. Yet the Carthaginians continually kept placing the elephants in the rear, where they were no
Archers?
use. In a similar fashion, the neighboring
Yeah.
region of Numidia provided Carthage
Yeah.
with the most skilled cavalrymen in the world. But the
In the world at the time, seriously? That's cool. Also, how did they horses in desert? Huh.
Carthaginians often chose to fight on rough, uneven terrain, where horses
Oh. Look at that. Look at all that free space and you fought here, bro.
and elephants were less effective.
Oh my god.
And so,
What?
in this case, when the Carthaginians again chose the rough terrain near the Roman camp, the
Why?
Romans easily sent them packing. Wow, Regulus. We're mere miles
Yeah, look at that booty. Ooh, in that
from Carthage.
Carthage,
You
yeah.
sure are amazing. Yes, Steve. I know. Steve? What's the matter? We've almost won. I just wish I could be as great as you, Regulus. Steve, you're amazing. I mean, look at this thing. It's
Oh,
unbelievable. I know, but I mean like at war stuff. I'm such a noob. My
Yeah,
tanks
you
always
are.
get blown up. I can't even fly an
oh
aircraft
no. Oh no.
straight. Tanks? Aircraft?
No.
What are you talking about, Steve? I'm talking about free-to-play online multiplayer combat game, and this video's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever.
Yeah.
Don't just drive
You
the
just
tank.
murdered him.
Become one with the tank.
No, become tank.
You can play as more than 2,000 battleships, aircraft,
2,000, okay.
tanks, and helicopters. in
Oh.
the-
I thought it was just saying the amount of battleships. I was like, okay, that's kind of a lot.
Dynamic player versus player combat. With amazing 4K graphics, each vehicle is incredibly detailed and modeled down to their individual components. And for history nerds like you and I, the vehicle collection in War Thunder spans over 100 years of military development, from the 1920s to the
Alright, what if I want a Da Vinci tank?
present day. I love the detailed damage mechanics in War Thunder. You ever think about how the exact angle a shell hits an armored vehicle affects the resulting damage? War Thunder
No.
has.
Oh.
Every bullet and shell is simulated with realistic destruction. That's the kind of thing that gets me up in the morning. And by using my link in the description below, new and existing
Okay.
users can get an exclusive
That's cool.
OverSimplified decal to make their T50 tank
That's pretty
look
cool.
extra spicy. Plus, you'll get a huge bonus pack, including premium vehicles and boosters. So play
Watch
War Thunder
when-
now on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And as always, by
Linux.
using my link, you'll be
So
supporting my
weird
channel. So
to
thank
see
you.
that.
Now where were
Why
we?
is Mac also
Oh, yeah.
weird? What the?
Invading Africa, getting
The
some
icon.
booty, and sending the Carthaginians packing. Everything was looking up for Regulus. A Roman victory seemed like it was only a matter of time. But
Yep.
then, Regulus realized something. He had been consul for almost a year,
Uh,
and his term was coming to an end. He knew that if his successor took over and he finished the job, then he would get the naked statues,
No.
not Regulus.
You know who's gonna get the naked statues? That man with that.
Regulus, and there was no way Regulus was going to allow that. So he jumped the gun. You there, Carthaginian boy. I want you to deliver a message to your elders.
Surrender.
I, Marcus Attilius Regulus, demand the total
Nice name.
and unconditional surrender of Carthage. Unconditional surrender? Jeez, at least lay siege and starve us all to death first. Just deliver the message, you punk! He demands your total surrender. What? Jeez, at least lay siege and starve us all to
What?
death first. Hey, that's what I said. Well, boys, this Roman thinks we're out. But we're not out, are we, boys? No! We'll do what we always do in times like this.
Bye bye
Hire somebody
bye.
else to solve our problems for us. Aaron, bring in
Uh-oh.
the Spartan. Regulus's overly harsh demands had had the unintended effect of reinvigorating Carthaginian resolve. They brought in a mercenary from the famed land of Sparta named
Hey.
Xanthippus to help dig them out of this
A
situation.
single.
And we all know what Spartans are like. Xanthippus
Okay.
showed up and immediately took charge. He had a look around and said, "You idiots! Put the elephants in front of the army so they can smash into the Romans and stop fighting
Yeah.
on rough, uneven terrain. Find a big flat field so your superior cavalry can do their job."
Yeah, I don't think the infantry will, par with the Romans, but at least the cavalry, you for sure have that.
And what's this I hear about you giving a speech telling everyone they're gonna die? Hey, I
What?
was just telling the people the truth.
What?
You're a politician. Lie to the people.
Why? Why? I mean, it's just like, bro, you're all gonna die. Just fight.
And so Xanthippus led out the newly reformed Carthaginian army to meet Regulus in the Battle of the
And they
Bagodas
got
River. The elephants,
destroyed.
now in the front,
They just murdered a few people.
smashed into the Roman lines.
Oh my
caught in
God.
disarray. The cavalry, with total freedom of movement, outflanked the Roman infantry. Thanks to this impressive Spartan, the battle
This
was
isn't
a
how it's
total
supposed to go.
Carthaginian
No.
victory.
I
And
forgot your
Xanthippus,
name.
for his stunning victory,
Romulus,
was forced
that's
to
your new
flee
name,
Carthage
even though it's
because
the-
the leadership got jealous.
Romulus, that's the founder in quotations.
Stunning victory
One
was
of them.
forced to flee Carthage because the leadership got jealous. Regulus, the Roman consul, was captured during the battle. Legend has it, he was brought before the Carthaginian
Oh wait, was it seriously
consul was
Romulus?
captured during the battle.
Oh no, Regulus.
Legend
Okay.
has it, he was brought before the Carthaginian council, and
Oh,
they made a proposition. Well, Reggie, not looking so good anymore, is it? Looks like we beat you pretty bad, huh?
no.
Up
Oh.
yours, you Punic pansies! Now,
Okay.
Regulus. Nobody likes a sore loser, do they? No. How about this? We're gonna send you back to Rome, and you
Okay.
convince the Roman Senate to surrender to us. If you fail, though, you gotta come back so we can torture you to death. Okay?
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay. You promise?
Yup.
I promise. Hey guys. Whoa, Regulus. We thought you got captured. I did, but they sent me back to convince you to surrender. Well, should we? Surrender? No! Never surrender! Give them hell, boys. They're at the end of their rope. Anyway, I gotta go be tortured to death now.
Wait.
What? Yep, part of a deal I made. It's a long story. Whoa, hey, wait! Regulus! No, it's cool, guys. I promised. Regulus! This is ancient times. We massacre entire populations. We chop pets in half. You
my
can
God.
break a promise. No, Tim! You never break
No.
a promise!
How dare
That's
you?
Too far!
Yeah.
So, Regulus went back to Carthage
Actually, that's insane.
and was tortured to
He is
death.
insane.
And for keeping his promise, he was immortalized as the leading symbol of
Let's go! Let's go!
Roman virtue.
Okay, no, he's a genius. Never mind.
Eve Online on Mac
On Apple.
immerses you in a universe
Mac.
with thousands of star systems.
Wait,
like
I'm confused. Okay.
Meanwhile, after their defeat in Africa, the remaining Roman survivors, still in Africa, were still in Africa, and they needed to be rescued. So the Romans sent their fleet to pick him up and bring him home.
And they
They
died.
successfully fended off a Carthaginian
Oh.
fleet, grabbed the survivors, and made their way to Sicily. A great success. But then, things took a turn for the worse.
Oh.
Sir? That cloud looks kind of angry. Fear not,
Ah, really?
coward. If we Romans can build a war fleet from scratch and defeat the Carthaginian Empire at their own game, why, then even Mother Nature herself will crumble
Yeah.
before us. I laugh in
agree
the
with
face
that.
of Mother Nature. Ha ha!
Strike me
See?
down,
Come on,
Zeus!
guys. Laugh at Mother Nature with me. Ha ha!
Haha! Why aren't they laughing? we're doing.
284 ships.
Oh.
Nearly 80% of the Roman fleet was destroyed. As many
Oops.
as 100,000 men
Oops.
drowned in a terrifying act of nature. Never before had Rome lost so many men in a single incident. 100,000 casualties for any other nation would be crippling. Any other nation would hastily sue for peace. Any other nation would spend decades trying to recover. But Rome was not just any other nation. Infamous for its unrelenting determination in the face of overwhelming odds, Rome said, well, I guess we'll just have to build another fleet. And they did. In just 3 months, they built
3 months, bro?
220 more ships. An astonishing feat. The Romans sent
Feet.
out their brand spanking new war fleet. And
I was about to say.
they
Oh.
got caught in another storm. This time, a whole nother fleet was lost. And still, the Romans did not give up. The Carthaginians couldn't believe it. Their enemy had just
Thousands?
lost hundreds of thousands of men, had 2 fleets almost entirely destroyed, and they still wouldn't surrender. As
What?
one Roman poet put it,
I wonder how far that like put back the Romans in
the
population.
victor is not victorious if the vanquished does not consider himself so.
Yeah.
In typical Roman fashion, after a short break,
They made
were
another
once
one.
again building another fleet. However, for now, after all the disasters at sea, the focus began shifting back to the land campaign in Sicily. The Carthaginians, overconfident from recent successes, attempted to retake Panormus, but the Romans countered the terrifying war elephants by throwing stuff at them and scaring them
An
away.
anchor.
Having
Wait.
stopped the war
What?
elephants by throwing stuff at them and scaring them away.
No. Oh, some shoes? Some yummy.
Having stopped
Oh
the
boy.
Carthaginian advance, the road was now open to the final Carthaginian stronghold on the island,
Well.
Lilybaeum. Lilybaeum was an extremely well-fortified city. In 250 BC, the Romans laid siege. The Carthaginian defense, however, was fierce, and skilled blockade runners kept the city supplied. Progress was so slow that the siege would last another 9 years.
Ooh.
To make matters worse, the Carthaginians later sent possibly the greatest military
It's insane how long sieges lasted. And that's what most of war was.
general of the time,
Was
a man
just
named Hamilcar
sieges.
Barca, to the island. He engaged in a skillful campaign of guerrilla warfare behind
Uh-oh.
enemy lines, and
Wow.
for the remainder of the war, he was a major thorn in the Roman side. For now, with the deadlock
Whoa,
remainder of the war,
whoa.
he was a major thorn in the Roman side.
Whoa.
For now, with the deadlock siege at Lilybaeum and the new Roman fleet at sea, things seemed to be at a standstill, and the Romans had to do something to break the deadlock. Thankfully,
Nuke.
the Roman consul, Clodius Pulcher, had an idea.
Nuke?
He tried to get things moving by attacking the Carthaginian fleet at Trapana. Now, before a battle, to predict if they would win, it was common for the Romans to look for signs from the gods. This
Yeah?
could mean observing the
You should have done that, whenever you're setting sail.
weather or inspecting some cow livers. Typical religion stuff.
Yeah.
In this case, Pulcher reportedly tried to feed some sacred chickens, but unfortunately for him, they wouldn't eat a crumb. A very bad sign. Well, he said, if they won't eat, then let them drink! Stupid chickens! We'll observe the weather instead. Gods, give me a sign. Ignore that. Okay, how about this? If I can get this piece of paper into that trash basket, we'll win.
Backwards.
Okay, if I can stand here silently for 5 seconds and do nothing, we'll win. Damn it! Pulcher chose to ignore the
Nice.
signs from the gods, and in the following battle, the superior Carthaginians tore them to shreds. It also didn't help that by now the Romans had removed the corvus to stabilize their ships, and without their secret weapon, It was a disaster, and Pulcher was
Yeah.
disgraced. To make matters worse, the victorious Carthaginian fleet then
Oh,
went on to
no.
intercept a Roman supply fleet on its way to Lilybaeum. As they approached, however, they saw the signs of an incoming storm, so they took shelter. The Romans, on the other hand, said, "Onward, men! Set sail!
No.
We've got to deliver these supplies stat." But sir, those clouds, don't you think we ought to have learned our lesson by now? Yes, Brian, we ought to have. But we haven't. Another fleet and 50,000 men.
Oh, oh my God, 50,000? Bro! They're just throwing away men like it's nothing.
Lost in another storm.
How are they
Disaster.
alive?
Now,
Like,
at this
surviving
point,
at
there
all?
still really isn't a clear winner. Sure, the Romans have captured most of Sicily and cornered the Carthaginian land forces at Lilybaeum, but the continued disasters at sea were critically depleting their resources.
Yeah.
And without a strong fleet, Rome could not win. Meanwhile, Hamilcar Barca was still knocking about and creating even more problems. So, where do we go from here? How does this war finally end?
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG
No.
in which you write your own story.
You write me a letter. Whoops. I broke it. I broke it very much, huh? What the? Well, that's nice. Bruh.
There still really isn't a clear winner. Sure, the Romans have captured most of Sicily and cornered the Carthaginian land forces at Lilybaeum. Without a was still knocking about and creating even more problems. So, where do we go from here? How does this war finally end? By now, the two sides had been fighting for 23 years. They were exhausted. Their money, their resources, their strength were all utterly spent. The Carthaginians in particular were eager to see the war end so they could get back to trading and making money. So after the latest Roman disaster at sea, they said, "Look, there ain't no way in heck the Romans can come back again. They can't possibly afford to build another fleet. They're done. That's it. Recall the navy, repurpose them as merchant ships, and let's get back to making some money." Assuming the Romans would soon make peace, an anti-war faction within the government recalled a large portion of the navy, leaving Hamilcar on his own. The victors appeared to be declaring themselves victorious. Meanwhile, the vanquished were getting ready for round 5. The Romans built another fleet, this time heavily relying on patriotic donations from the upper classes to afford it. And once again, they put to sea. Sir? The Romans have built another fleet. Oh, for goodness sake, Clarence, can't you see I'm busy rolling around in this pile of money? But sir, I don't care anymore, Clarence. I just don't care. The Carthaginian politicians made a fairly lackluster final effort with a poorly built fleet to supply their forces in Sicily. But when the brand new Roman fleet caught them at the Battle of the Aegates, even without their signature corvus, they dealt them the final blow. And that was that. 23 years of war. Neither side could afford to keep fighting, but the Romans showed that they intended to anyway. The Carthaginians had no choice but to throw in the towel. The war had been long and hard for both sides, but in the end, it was Roman determination that won the fight. The Romans had spent the entire war trying to find a way to deliver the knockout blow. They learned how to build a fleet and engage in naval combat. They developed ingenious new ways of waging war. They attempted an invasion of the Carthaginian heartland, and whenever disasters struck them, they always came back again and again. The Carthaginians, on the other hand, spent the entire war watching whatever Rome did, and then figuring out how to respond. They were much more passive, and so it's no wonder then that when both sides were close to collapse, Rome was the one who figured out how to go that little bit further. In 241 BC, the Carthaginian politician sent word to Hamilcar Barca that he was on his own and could choose to make peace with the Romans if he wished. Hamilcar was stunned. He felt betrayed by the politicians. Some sources say he refused to even negotiate. Nevertheless, terms had to be drawn up.
Probably lose, you know, Sicily.
Well, Hammy, I'm glad you Carthaginians have finally come to your senses and recognized who the true winner is. How many fleets did you lose?
Like
Okay, here are our terms.
40.
You leave Sicily to us and return all of our prisoners. You're not
That
allowed
makes
to make
sense.
war against Syracuse or her allies, and you have to
Okay.
pay us 2,200 talents of silver over the
Jesus.
next 20 years. What's a talent of silver? Well, to put it in perspective, in the year 2022, that'll be worth around, let's say, 40 million US dollars.
You know what? Yeah, that seems fair.
Rumba! That will cripple us! Wow, we got a real smart guy over here. Yeah, that's kind of the point, you dingus. Ugh, I guess I have no choice. I accept. Great! Oh, by the way, we changed our minds. You actually have to pay us 3,200 talents of silver over 10 years. Thanks for accepting. Dude! See you later. Hey! You didn't let me say uncool! He didn't let me say uncool. The treaty was extremely punishing, and by switching up the terms at the last minute, they enraged the Carthaginians. But still, one of the longest and deadliest wars at the time was finally over.
But
The Romans
what?
had won. They achieved their aim of gaining Sicily. And even though it wasn't part of the
Is that
peace deal,
Syracuse?
they took advantage of a weakened Carthage and grabbed Corsica and
Oh.
Sardinia as well. Roman expansion beyond the Italian peninsula had just begun. The Romans hoped that now the Carthaginians would forever be under their thumb. Unfortunately, the harsh terms they placed on the Carthaginians at the end of the war left a growing anger. One that would come back to haunt them. One day, Carthage will have its revenge. That's nice, dear. I'm serious, woman. Maybe not in my
Hannibal.
lifetime, but perhaps in his.
Hannibal.
My beautiful son. You are born into a momentous destiny. You shall be Rome's greatest enemy. You'll tear Rome limb from limb. You'll burn their pathetic city into the ground. You'll slaughter their people, men, women, and children. My child, you are vengeance. Stop telling our baby he's vengeance. But he is, Barbara. He's vengeance. That may be so someday, but for now, our son has a name, and you should call him that instead. His name is...
Oh my god. Really? Okay. Never mind, I was wrong.
Don't forget to play...
So he's just gonna do the whole Punic War? That's cool. That is very cool. Alright. Peace.